Alright, what's going on YouTube? Cloverbells here, back on the Showdown team builder, and today we're going to try and look at Lunala. So again, the point of these Showdown videos as opposed to my battle videos is I'm trying to show you how to build a team from scratch, and just to give you guys some ideas as to how I think it should be played and built, all the while showing you my calcs and EV spreads, item choices and whatnot. Now, when I show you these teams, remember, I'm not saying they're super perfect, but they're close to what I think the way they should be played. So today I'm going to show you not one, but also two, maybe even three Pokepastes showing Lunala, and just to give you a sense of different kinds of playstyles as to how to use it. But yeah, so without further ado, let's take a look at Lunala. So Lunala is in a interesting spot in the meta, in that yes, it's got that second ghost typing, which makes it 4 times weak to something like Kylevex Shadow or dark moves like Urshifu, but in Trick Room it can do very well, and it gets access to this move. Not Moongeist Beam, but yeah, it does, but the one that we're gonna take more advantage of is Meteor Beam, right? So you can already probably say we're gonna run a Power Herb set NBR. So I kind of like Meteor Beam on Lunala in Series 10, and I think this is the way to go, and of course we're gonna go with Trick Room here. Alright, and again, normally I would show you my Pokemon choices and then my moves and items, but I figured let me just get the ball rolling with Lunala and just show you some of this stuff. Now I'll get to the last move in a second, but now in terms of what we're trying to do with Lunala from here, so we picked our restricted. That's step 1. Step 2, we need to counter some of its weaknesses with the rest of the team, and also step 3, counter the popular threats in the meta, right? So this way we have a solid, consistent team that has answers to what's popular in the meta. All right, so the next thing I'm thinking of is, okay, well, what's my Kyogre Zacian and Xerneas matchup look like? Well, you know that Lunala is going to be in Trick Room. Well, we need something else that can also abuse Trick Room, and while Lunala is a special sweeper, let's go physical. And let's go with Stakka Taka. Now, we've used Stakka Taka quite a bit, and it makes sense because, you know, it's very strong into the Xerneas matchup. And one thing that I do want to show you guys is, yes, we've been using Choppleberry, and I think it'll stay this way in the video, but what I'm starting to believe that, honestly, I think Safety Goggles with Protect is the way to go on Stakka Taka. And honestly, you can forgo the rock move here, so we can go Gyro Ball, Body Press, and Trick Room. And you might say, well, why forgo the Choppleberry? Well, so what people are starting to pick up and do now is, because they're starting to anticipate the Choppleberry, they'll just double up on it, and then you just die anyway. So they'll click their fighting move, proc the berry, get you down to like half, and then just kill you again with another move on their other mon. So what good did the Choppleberry do? So for that reason, I think putting the Safety Goggles and just in the Xerneas matchup, ignoring the Amoonguss and ignoring the Volcarona, and just get straight to the Zern with that Gyro Ball, I think it's very nice, and people are realizing that now. So more people are starting to go with the Safety Goggles on the Stakka Taka. Okay, but if you don't like the, and also Protect, so like when you start doing your pivoting and then start protecting one slot, which is a general play, right? You pivot one slot, protect the other one. Protect is really good on stack, and not too many people expect it yet, but they are starting to anticipate it now, especially some of the higher tier players. All right, so Safety Goggles is really nice along with Protect, and I feel like it's good. So then from here, what are we going for? So what about our Kyogre matchup? Very simple. We can go Rillaboom here. Serena's nice, but I still really like AV Rilla. Okay, so of course we're gonna go Assault Vest, and this we'll get to the moves in a second, but yeah. So we've got our Zern matchup, our Kyogre matchup. Now for Zacian, we can just keep it simple here. We can just go Incineroar here with Intimidate spam, and of course we're gonna be cycling Incineroar quite a bit. But again, it gives us that other fake out user, and which is very good against stuff like Zacian and Groudon in general, and Calyrex Ice. So right here, this is the 4, okay? This is the key 4, and I feel like the other 2 is where things get interesting, and this is where you'll see differences in the Pokepaste. But I like this 4. Now, again, you'll say, okay, look, where do I go from here? So, these 3, they're kind of weak to like Lando Eye if Trick Room's not up, right? Because Lando's Eye with the Life Orb can just, put a lot of damage on the Rillaboom. I know we have the Assault Vest, but it still doesn't want to take that Sludge Bomb very well. So, and then of course these 2 are weak to Earth Power, right? So we need something that can pretty much answer it. There's a few ways you can go here. You can go Water Urshifu with the Mystic Water, which is something that we've used before. But what I really like is something else to go in Trick Room, and something that we used before, and we did it in the Calyrex Ice team that we built with Alex, and I kind of like it again here, and that's going to be the Araquanid. Alright, now, again, this is going to be another Trick Room sweeper, but it fulfills that water typing. It's really nice in the Zacian matchup because Zacian moves can't really hit it very well. It's great in the Kyogre matchup because, first of all, this thing gets Wide Guard, okay, and of course water, and you're just making its water move even better. So I really like Araquanid here. So I think it's a very, very nice addition here. I've seen options like Tapu Fini, right? I feel like Fini is also really good on a Lunala team, especially when you have Rilla Incin. Okay, because you can go for stuff like a Moonblast, Nature's Madness, Haze set. Haze is really good against Xerneas as well. So there's that. But for now, I feel like we'll leave this for like the other Pokepaste, and we'll just stick with Araquanid. Okay, so now, how do we pick this last slot here? So we've got a Zern matchup. We've got Zern. We got Kyogre. We've got 2 things that can do well against Zacian. Now, how do we fix the last slot? So now you have to think, okay, what else is Lunala weak to? And it's weak to a Dark type, right? Something like Urshifu Dark, or even something like Umbreon, even though it's not common, or like Moltres. Okay, like let's say a team had Urshifu Dark. What am I supposed to do against that? I mean, we can. It's tricky, right? I mean, we get Trick Room up, yes, and we can damage it, yes, but like Stakataka doesn't want to take that close combat after the Chopo Berry, and Incineroar, same thing. The Intimidate's not really going to do anything to it, so we want to help us a little bit more with that Urshifu matchup. Okay, and even Moltres can give us some problems. So what I was thinking is, well, first of all, what if we had like a Lecky, okay, where we get another speed control mon, but I feel like I kind of want a Fairy on here, and then I started thinking, okay, well, hold on, Electric Fairy, how about this? Tapu Koko came to mind, and I looked at it, I looked at this 6, and I feel like Koko is really interesting here. Even if you don't like Araquanid, you could even swap this out for like the Water Urshifu, okay? And then this is also still a solid 6, okay? Because you got your Fire, Water, Grass core, you've got a Fairy answer to like opposing Dark types, and you got your big Trick Room sweepers in Lunala and Stakataka. So I feel like this 6 is pretty good. Okay, but I like Araquanid because we're running Trick Room anyway. Might as well take advantage of it. Okay, so and this just helps us a little bit more in like in like the Zacian matchup, and even the Kyogre matchup, right? And as does Coco. Coco helps us in a little bit in the Kyogre as well if we decide to bring it. Okay. I know it doesn't help us in Zacian, but we don't need to bring it in Zacian matchups, right? So I really like the 6 for our first Pokepaste. So now let's do our moves and items. So we have Moongeist Beam, we have Meteor Beam, we have Trick Room. A lot of other options here you can go. You can even go Wide Guard here. But I feel like if we're gonna go Wide Guard on the Araquanid, okay, we don't need the Wide Guard on the Lunala. So I feel like Protect is just fine, especially when we're trying to like pivot one slot. So if looking at stuff here, like it gets Expanding Force, right? But you know, I don't want to put that there if I don't have a Psychic Terrain user like an Indeedee. Alright, Lele is interesting, now that I think about it. Tapu Lele could be a play here. Like if I remove Coco and I put Tapu Lele, I think that would be something, and then I can put like Expanding Force here. But then now I'm even more weaker to Calyrex Shadow, so I don't really want. I feel like that's not great. So I feel like Coco's okay here. So we're gonna go with Coco, and we're just gonna go with Protect. All right. So then from here, Stack Attacka, Gyro Ball, Body Press, Trick Room, Protect, Safety Goggles. But again, if you don't want it, you know, you can just go Chople Berry, and then you don't pick the Protect. You just go Rock Slide here. All right. So in the other pace, I guess I'll show you that Stack Attacka, but again, I'm starting to be a believer in the Safety Goggles, Protect, Stack Attacka. Alright, now Rillaboom, very standard here. Grassy Glide, Fake Out, U-Turn, Pivoting, and of course Knock Off, because we really need this because, you know, Calyrex Shadow is going to be a problem. Incineroar, so if we're going to go Chople Berry here, then this one would go Safety Goggles. But if you put the Goggles here, then you can just put the berry, like the Citrus Berry on the Incineroar. Alright, so from here, we go Flare, Blitz, of course, Fake Out. Alright, Parting Shot, yes. And this last slot, if you're going to put a little, you can even go like Roar here, just to help a little bit more against like Xerneas, and it works because the Goggles will get you past the Volcarona and the Amoonguss, and then you can just roar out the Xerneas. Alright, so that's another option. But if you feel like you can play well enough with Stack Attacka that you don't need the roar, then you can just go another dark move. Like you can just go Snarl. Alright, or you can go like Throat Chop here. I think I'll go with Throat Chop here actually. Just more Calyrex Shadow security. Okay, so we got these 4. Araquanid, of course, we're gonna go Mystic Water. Alright, let's make this level 50. Alright, Liquidation, the move that will be clicking 99% of the time. I do like Leech Life. Leech Life is pretty good, and this is pretty much the same set that we ran before. Protect is pretty good. Okay, so these 2 moves. And then Coco, I actually like Life Orb here, just so that we can get that KO on the Urshifus. So we're gonna go Dazzling Gleam, of course. Here we'll go Volt Switch, another pivoter. Okay, now from here it gets a little interesting, right? So of course we're gonna go Protect. Alright, that part's not interesting, but can go Nature's Madness. Alright, Nature's Madness is kind of good, especially if you're gonna go Max Speed Coco, which is actually what we're gonna do. But I feel like a little more speed control with Electro Web is pretty good. I know we're not really Regieleki, but you know, 130 speed is pretty fast, so I think it's good. So we've got our 6 Mons. Okay, so now let's do the spreads. So let's do the easy ones first, the ones that we already know. So I'm not changing anything with the Rillaboom. It's going to be the same Rillaboom spread that I've always used in my previous building videos. Alright, 132 HP to optimize your Grassy Terrain recovery. This will give you 12 HP per turn. Alright, 196 for the 3rd bump in the attack stat. and this will always KO the non-invested Kyogres. Alright, this is Overgrowth, Grassy Surges. And then for defense here, I always like speed on my Rillaboom, and I like to have the faster fake out. So I put a mark on 116. I think 116 is really, really good. You'll outspeed like 99% of the other Rillabooms, and then the rest in special defense. Alright, and this will allow you to take those Astral Barrages relatively fine. Okay, and you'll live the Tornadus Hurricanes, right? And it's a good roll against the ones that are Life Orb. So from here, then Incineroar, same idea. We won't change this. We'll go with our careful spread that we've always done. Alright, the first bump here, we like a fast instant fake out, so 95 speed is good. Alright, we don't really need the, we don't really need the attack. And from here, we just go max HP and max defense, just so that we can live the close combat from the intimidated Zacian that's non-invested. The intimidated Zacian 252. That's what I meant. Okay, we've used the same Incineroar plenty of times, other than the Assault Vest Incineroar, which is I like a lot, but our Assault Vest is on the Rillaboom. All right, from here now, of course we're gonna go Brave here. All right, and we're not gonna put any speed on this, so 0 IVs in the speed. I am gonna max the HP. I think you kind of have to, because that's very, very fair. It's got really, really good special defense bulk, and the defense is not bad either. It's above average, but that HP stat needs to be maxed, right? So we're gonna go here. Previously we've had this spread where we just did this, but if you consider Arachnid's weakness, we're weak to Regieleki, right? So I want to live a 252 Regieleki Thunderbolt Timid, okay? So I think that's a calc worth exploring, and I've already done the calc, but I'm just recreating it just to show you, and I'll show you the calc itself. But I found that you need, first of all, let me take this away. You need about this much SPDEF to live that Thunderbolt, and then the rest went into the attack stat. So I felt like this was okay. I would have done this where I just did the bump, the second bump in the attack, and then the rest in defense, and then I have like 4 EVs left over, and I put in special attack. I didn't really like this so much. I mean, yeah, I get a little bit more physical defense bulk, but it's not really doing anything, and I tried to find like a justification for this much defense, but I was living everything anyway, so I didn't think it was worth it. So and we kind of need the attack, right? Because, you know, even though we're basically having adaptability, I feel like 70, even with the Mystic Water, you know, we want to like maximize our attack output on Arachnid, so I just went with this. Alright, and I felt like this was okay. Alright, and just to show you that calc, I think I have it here. So if we go Arachnid custom set, actually this is the old set. Alright, let's go 196 and 60. Okay, and then here we'll go like Regieleki. Alright, let's go blank set here. Let's go level 50. Alright, we're gonna do Thunderbolt. Alright, 252. Alright, Timid Nature. Alright, Transistor ability. Okay, and we do live it, right? So I think that's a calc worth knowing. So, you know, that little bit of SPDEF matters. So that's why we have it. Alright, and then from here, the stack attacker, so we can just max the attack, and again we're going Brave, and we'll just go to the bump here, and then from here we just have that little tiny bit of SPDEF just so that we can live the Regieleki Thunderbolt as well. I think I showed it in a previous video, this calc, but yeah, that's really all you need there. Okay, Lunala I'm gonna save for last, because I feel like there's 2 different routes that you can go with Lunala. I'll do the Coco first. So the Coco, we're gonna go Timid here. We're gonna max the speed here. This way we can at least speed tie the max speed atomizations, and then hopefully get the electro web off, and then KO it with something else. All right. So I feel like this is fine. But from here, instead of going for this much with the life orb recoil, I feel like we can go the next threshold, which is 159, because 159 divided by 10 is 15.9, which rounds down to 15 damage taken with life orb. So I think we can go next threshold here, and I'll show you a calc that matters here. But then from here, we'll just go something like this. And you might say, well, that's not very much attack at all, special attack at all. We don't really need it. I feel like this is enough for the Urshifu, and I was calcing it, and it is. So let's take a look at it. So if we go, I think we actually already imported it. Tapu Koko. Okay, and then Urshifu Dark. Where's my... Yeah, so like Dazzling Gleam does more than enough here. Why is this black glasses? This should have been like Focus Sash or something. Alright, but that doesn't matter in terms of the damage. So of course this is the dark one. We don't really need special attack investment there. How about Urshifu Water? And this is where the bulk comes in handy. So if... that's the wrong Urshifu again. So if they are the common Mystic Water set right now, alright, if they're adamant and if they're at the first bump, okay, Surging Strikes does not kill. Okay, so that's where this bulk on Tapu Koko comes in handy. Like, and you might say, well, we're faster. Yes, we are, but we don't kill. And it's a little bit, yeah, see, like, we don't actually kill. So I think we can just, like, with this bulk investment, we can kill it after it goes for its Surging Strikes, right? So I think that's worth it. And you might say, well, we can just bring down the HP and then invest in the special attack. Yeah, we could. And you might even say, well, all right. I mean, we could. Let's look at that calc. So let's go 149 here, and then let's go 220. Right. So wait, 28 and 220. All right. All right. So I mean, it's still a roll to try and kill, especially like if they're super bulky. Mystic Water set. So I feel like we're not killing this thing anyway, right? So let's just live a hit, right? Because now this thing is gonna kill me, right? Almost, pretty much. So let's just focus on bulk instead. Okay, so that's our Coco spread, and that's the reason why we have it. Okay, so let's put this back. Sorry, 108. And then go down to 140. Alright, so we have our Araquanid spread, we have a Coco spread, we have Instant, Rillaboom, Stack Attack. Now, okay, Lunala. Okay, so we're gonna go modest here. Alright, and now you have to think on an important calc, and there's two ways you can do this. Actually, there's two calcs, is what I meant. Do you want to live Wicked Blow Urshifu, or do you want to live Calyrex Shadow Astral Barrage? Can you calc for both? Yes, but you're gonna give up your special attack a lot, and I don't think you want to sacrifice all your damage. I still think you want damage, so I feel like just pick one, and the one that we went with was Calyrex Shadow. I feel like that's much more common than Wicked Blow Urshifu. Yes, is Urshifu, Wicked Blow, Dark Urshifu common? It's common enough where I kind of have to respect it, which is why Coco's on this team, okay? But I don't think it's worth investing where, like, I'm disrespecting Calyrex Shadow, right? So I'm going to respect Calyrex Shadow instead, while still respecting Urshifu by having Tapu Koko, alright? So that was my thinking process as I was building this squad. So from here, how do I want to do this? So we're just gonna have the first bump. I'm sorry, not the first bump. We're just gonna go, how we're gonna do this. Okay, so 80, so then the next one's at 100. So you see how I have the second bump here? We'll go to the third bump, which is 180. Alright, and then from here, now we're just gonna invest in our bow. Alright, speed we don't really care about. We're pretty much gonna have no speed, but we're not gonna have 0 IV speed. I still think we want some speed just to outspeed certain things. So what we can do here is optimize our HP, where we maximize grassy terrain recovery, and we'll have enough left where we can still survive the Calyrex Shadow Astro Barrage. So how do we do that? So it turns out that this number is going to be at 240. Alright, and you might say that's a lot of HP. Do you need that much HP? Kind of, because now we have this much left over for our spit def, and then here just a point of bulk in defense and speed. So this way we can outspeed some other Lunalas by 1 point and knock them out with a Moongeist Beam. Okay, so what does this calc do? So let's bring it up here. Lunala, I think we have it already. Yeah, we do. And Calyrex Shadow. Alright, this is going to be my set here. Alright, let's just remove that. So, we pretty much have a very, 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 very high chance to live that Astro Barrage. Can I remove these points and go to 108 to live it? It doesn't matter, right? I did it for you right here on the screen. So I figured let's just put that extra bulk here and just outspeed other Lunalas and KO them, and then just live with this 6.3% chance. Okay. Now, can I drop the special attack a little bit more and make it so that I 100% live? Yeah, I think I can. Do I want to? No. Because I feel like this bump is still okay. But if you must, I will show you that calc. So let's drop it 1, and then let's just remove this. Alright, and then let's just go 116. And now you guarantee live it. So if you want that calc where you guarantee live it, this is it. Alright, but for me, let's just go back to our bump and then just go 4-4. Alright, I'm more, look man, if you die on 6% chance, what can I say? I mean, you're just unlucky. I rather take my chances here. 94% chance. Alright, so that's our Lunala calc. Alright, so we have our spreads. Okay, and now I'm going to show you a second way of building Lunala, and then we'll showcase some test battles, right? So let's upload this, and I'll show you something different here. So now let's go team builder here. Alright, now we don't have to go Coco, and we don't have to go Araquanid, okay? And this is where things start to get interesting in terms of team composition. So what else can we do? We can even do, we can go Tapu Fini, okay? And this way you still have that Fire Water Grass Core, and you can go Moonblast, Nature's Madness, Haze, alright, Protect, and then just go Leftovers, right? You can do this, okay? But I'm thinking, okay, what's another way? Because, yeah, it's good in the Fini matchup or things with weakness policy, but man, Water Urshifu is just so good. Fini doesn't really do anything to Lando Eye, and I feel like I need something for that, because these three just get destroyed by Lando Eye. So that's why I kind of like, once again, Water Urshifu here. And we'll just go with the spread that we've always done. Alright. Just 4 here, outspeed Serena, and the rest here. Favorable roll to live the Moonblast Xerneas Moonblast. So Surging Strikes, of course, Close Combat, Aqua Jet, and Protect. Alright, so there's our Fire, Water, Grass core. And this you can also bring this in Kyogre too. Like, Urshifu Rod is very good in Kyogre matchup. So then what do we do now? So we're still weak to our... We need our Dark Weakness counter, right? So what else can we do in this last slot? You know, like, if Urshifu is a problem, you know what's actually kind of cool? Is Moltres. I'm not gonna lie. Moltres... And I got this idea from Dante, so shout out to Dante if you're watching this. He got second in the X9 League tournament this past weekend. So what if we did Assault Vest Moltres, right? And this will also help in the Calyrex Shadow matchup. And then we go with the Neil special that we did with the Yveltal video. We'll go Life Orb Rillaboom. Okay, so that means we'll give up some speed here. Alright, and then what was I doing? How did I do this? Oh yeah, 108, 189. Okay, so this calc, if you watched our other video with the Yveltal, this calc will live the Zacian 252 Behemoth Blade. Okay, and then we'll go Assault Vest Moltres. And what we can do here is, first of all, Fiery Wrath, alright, Air Slash, alright, this is the move that will, you know, kill those Urshifus. And then from here, Snarl, alright, and you can go like Sucker Punch or Foul Play, but what Dante had was U-Turn. And I like this idea, okay, because if things were to bring you below half, and if something hits you first, you can hit him hard with like a +1 U-turn, or hit him hard with like Fiery Wrath or Air Slashes or whatnot. So I really like this, and we can go bulky Moltres, baby Yveltal in essence, right? So I kind of like this idea. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go Timid. And we're just gonna have enough speed where we outspeed the modest Kyogre, right? So 143 is all we need. And then from here, we don't really need Spidef for defense. We just need enough attack investment where we can pretty much KO Calyrex Riders. So I think it was this amount, right? I was doing the calcs by myself, so I think this is all you need to not only live the close combat from a Mienshao, but live an Astral Barrage from a Calyrex Shadow. Okay? And then we can KO it right back with like Fiery Wrath. Okay? So if I pull up this calc here, I think it's already imported. Moltres Galar. Yeah. 156. Actually, no. 156, 156. Oh, this is my old Moltres. Alright, hold on. This is my one of my Series 9 calcs. Alright, let's just reset this calc. Right? So now let's go Moltres. Alright, let's take a look at this. So, Calyrex Shadow, 17 to 20% with that Astral Barrage. Nice try, Calyrex. Very nice try. And the Fiery Wrath has a very strong roll to Okoate, especially after, and it will, because Life Orb Chip, right? So you will be knocking out these Calyrex Shadows. So I really like that. You know, it's honestly pretty cool. And then Mienshao. All right. First of all, if it gives you that close combat. Alright, let me show you something. Where is it? Okay, so this close combat, first of all, this combination of close combat and Astral Barrage is not enough to kill you. And because this is going to drop you below half, now you're going to proc Berserk, and now you're going to be +1. So, if anything, you could even U-turn with +1, get out of there, and you know, bring in something else that'll give you a more favorable position, right? So I really like Moltres on this team, and I think it's good. So shout out to Dante for coming up with this. And I almost forgot about Moltres in Series 10, but I feel like it should be used more. Alright, and what this does is you have these two things that are weak to ground, but now you have a ground resist, and now you have a ground immunity, a flying type, which I really like. So I think this is pretty good as well. So let's upload this. So we have this spread with the Moltres and the Urshifu, and of course Life Orbrilla, and then this with the Araquanid and Tapu Koko. And then something else you could even do is if you didn't like the Chople Berry, you can go Safety Goggles here. Forget about your Rock Slide and go Protect. Okay, and now this thing, you can go Citrus. Okay, and now you have something like this, where now you have a little bit different items and moves, but you know, it's still very, very much functional, right? So try these out. So now what we're gonna do, yeah, so like before we go into the battles, right? So like, what is the goal of the team? So of course you want to set up Trick Room and sweep with either Lunala, Stack Attacker, or sometimes even Araquanid. But most of the time you'll be using these four a lot. This Koko really only comes if there's like a dark mon on the team and we really need something for it, okay? And Araquanid you can bring in like the Kyogre games as well, but most of the time you'll be using these four, right? And even on this thing, same idea, you'll be using mostly these four, but then these two can come in certain matchups where like you really need to, like this would come in the Lando Eye matchup, okay? And Moltres is really nice in Calyrex Shadow. Moltres and Instant would just really put a lot of pressure. Like I wouldn't even, maybe you wouldn't even bring Lunala, you would just bring Stack, Rilla, Instant, Moltres for like that Calyrex Shadow matchup. It really depends, but I'm just showing you different ways on what I think should go on Lunala. Does Fini belong? Yeah, you could replace the Urshifu with the Tapu Fini with that Haze, Moonblast, Nature's Madness set, but I really like this set on with what we got here. So now let's showcase them in some battles, shall we? Alright, let's get to it. Okay, so it's Calyrex Ice in the first matchup. So and he's got Amoonguss here. So that tells me that the Calyrex Ice probably has Trick Room. And so does the Oranguru. So I think I expect the Oranguru lead here. He could also lead Amoonguss Calyrex, which would be a little bit annoying. I expect the Torkoal to come to this game. I don't think he brings Fini, but yeah, I do expect Calyrex and Torkoal to come this game, and either Oranguru or Amoonguss or Oranguru Incineroar, just to like put pressure on some of my physical attackers. But for me, I think it's safe to lead Rillaboom Lunala, just in case he does bring any of the fire types, because we can always Meteor Beam it, okay? And I need something to kill the Fini in case he brings it, right? So I do have the Rillaboom, and of course I have Fake Out Pressure just to help set up my Trick Room. And I'm thinking Incineroar in the back along with Stack Attacker is what I brought. So let's let play start. So Rillaboom Lunala is my lead. He leads Instant Oranguru. So so he intimidates my Rillaboom, but I don't really care. My goal is to actually get rid of that Incineroar, because that's going to be annoying to deal with. So I don't go for Trick Room. Instead, I go for Glory, and I'm going to click Power Herb Meteor Beam into that Incineroar, just remove it, and I don't care what this Oranguru does. He could set up Trick Room himself, which would be kind of cool, because he might want to flip my Trick Room, okay, if I do go for it. So I'm going to call that and get my Rillaboom out of here with a U-turn. Alright, so we're going to let the play start. So I go for my Meteor Beam, and Instant's gone, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. And then I U-turn, super effective on the Oranguru, get in my Stack Attacker, and he Trick Rooms for me, which is amazing. And now he gets in the Torkoal. Alright, so I like where I'm at right now because I've got a Trick Room Sweeper physical wise, and then I've got a Trick Room Sweeper special wise. Okay, yes, he has a Torkoal, but I don't think Eruption kills me at all. So, and if he does, then he just dies because I have a Moongeist Beam waiting to kill this thing. Alright, so we let play resume. He actually has Earth Power, which actually just kills my stack attacker. So I'm very sad, but you know, it's okay. He does go for foul play, but Moongeist Beam is more than enough to take out the Torkoal. So we trade Stack Attacker for Torkoal, which I'm okay with because now I have Incineroar, and then I intimidate the Calyrex, and he's stuck here. Although he has this white herb item on it for, I guess, for this reason. As we let play consume, he does protect, so I'm going to fake out the Oranguru because I don't want to deal with it. He does give me another foul play and I live it. And I reverse the Trick Room, which is important because I don't want to suffer the hands of this Glacial Lance Behemoth that is staring at me in the face. So from here, I already know what's coming. So he goes for the Ally Switch. I didn't see that coming actually. So the Moongeist Beam does nothing into Oranguru. But I do go for Flare Blitz. I tried to damage a lot because I thought, you know, this thing doesn't have weakness policy. I might as well go for Glory. But he went for that. And he gets the Trick Room back up. So now I'm in trouble. However, I can just protect Lunala and then try and get my instant out of here. So that's exactly what I do. Actually, I opted to kill the Oranguru anyway. And he is going for the Instruct combo. And he does crit me, but then I crit him right back. So crit for crit. And I keep my instant. And the game is pretty much over from here. He can't really do much. Because yes, he does click Glacial Lance, but I do live because Lunala is amazing. And then we just wipe him out with Moongeist Beam and the game is over. Alright, so that was our first game there. So now let's take a look at another one. Okay, so this is Tononger Timmy game. This is Torviv's team, right, with the Shedinja. But of course he could have completely different sets and whatnot. So already I'm thinking Araquanid's coming, and so is Rillaboom. And I need a Trick Room setter. So I feel safe leading Kyogre. I feel safe leading Rillaboom and Lunala. This way I put pressure on the Kyogre with the Rillaboom. And then I can set up the Trick Room with a Lunala. I'm going to have Stack in the back. And then I do bring Araquanid. So I feel like this is fine. And I have enough to deal with this team. Yes, he has a Shedinja, but I have enough tools to deal with Shedinja, so I'm not really worried there. And even when my Shadow Shield is broken, Shadow Sneak doesn't one-shot. It only does about 55 to 65% on the calc, right? And I do remember that calc. So let's see how this plays out. So I go Rillaboom, I go Lunala, and he goes with Kyogre, and he goes with Tornadus. So very, very standard lead here. Alright, so now, wait, dang it. I wanted to explain reasoning here. Alright, so let's do that one more time. So Kyogre, Tornadus. Okay, so I'm thinking a couple of things. He could protect this Kyogre slot, or he could switch in for Sarina to stop my priority moves like Fake Out or Grassy Glide, and I expect it. And then I expect a Hurricane as well. I don't think he would Tailwind here because it looks like I'm going to set Trick Room, right? So I would imagine Hurricane comes out here. But it's okay because I have Araquanid in the back. And Araquanid is going to do very, very well as long as I get the Trick Room up. He could taunt here. But it's not the end of the world because Lunala can still do a lot of damage even if he taunts me, and even if I can't get my Trick Room up. Alright, so he actually swaps into Instant, which is actually not too bad of a play because now my Rillaboom's Intimidate. For some reason he clicks Icy Wind, crits me, alright, making me slower. I don't know why he did this. And then I do go for the knockoff. I thought he would go Serena here, and I wanted to knock off the AV on that. But instead I knock off a Safety Goggles, so it doesn't really help me here. Okay, and now I do get my Trick Room up. Now the problem here is the Incineroar goes first before my Lunala, and I'm going to think Meteor Beam again. If he if he has a dark move, I should live it. Okay. If it's Snarl, I definitely live, but then I don't get the KO. But I still put on a lot of damage, right? But I have to save the Rillaboom, which is even more important. So I'm gonna click U-turn and get it out of here, and bring in my Araquanid. Okay, and then let's see what happens with Lunala. So, I get Araquanid in here. He goes for Snarl, so it's not gonna do too much to Lunala, and I do go for Meteor Beam, and it does not KO. I didn't expect it to KO. All right, and he goes for Icy Wind on the next play. All right, which is fine, because I still have the Trick Room up. He goes Shedinja. Alright, I get rid of the Instant, which I really like. And the Moongeist Beam does a lot into Shedinja, but he is Sash, so at least this turn he doesn't take damage. Alright, so right now I'm okay. Yes, the Shedinja is going to be faster than Lunala, but Shadow Sneak won't kill me. Alright, because I have way too much health right now. Okay, and he brings in Kyogre, so I'm thinking he could Water Spout here, but I'm not afraid because I have White Guard. Alright, and Lunala can pretty much sit here for now. Alright, but I decide to bring in my Rillaboom, put more pressure. He goes for Ally Switch, so another game with Ally Switch, so it doesn't work out here. And he crits my Rillaboom again. I get crit for the second time, but Araquanid takes it relatively well. Sort of well. But I bring back in Lunala. I have one more turn of Trick Room. And he goes for Protect here, and I tried to read the Ally Switch here, actually. I'm surprised that he didn't go for it again, but of course I'm just going to double target this slot. But I actually think I just Wide Guarded again, which actually I did, and he actually, I think he went for it again, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he did, so that was a good turn for me. I'm surprised he did that. Alright, but now, he switches out for Torn. I Wide Guard again, and he actually goes for it again. Did he really not think I was gonna click it again? Alright, and this time I re-get my Trick Room up. So, if he had Taunt, now it's not gonna work, which is actually what he goes for. Alright, so there's the Leech Life. I get some recovery, and this time I get more chip damage on the Tornado slot. I could have killed that, but I anticipated a switch, but now Water Spout does nothing. He switches the Shedinja again. He taunts the Araquanid to stop my Wide Guards, but he saves the Kyogre, but now I get rid of the Tornadoes, and now the Kyogre is stuck here. And he can Ally Switch again, so the way I read into it is I just double target this slot every day of the week, and no matter what happens, it's favorable. So he does do it. I kill the Kyogre, I get nice health recovery, and this is just an easy Moongeist Beam from here. Alright, so Tornogre Timmy Fall. So I mean, you know, Araquanid was huge here. The Wide Guard came in really handy. He kept spamming it for whatever reason. He didn't think I would click it again. But Shedinja couldn't really do anything. I mean, Shadow Sneak doesn't kill. Alright, and if you want to see the calc, here it is. Alright, so there it is. 55 to 65% damage. Does my Kyogre look... I mean, does my Lunala look in range? No. So I know I guaranteed live. Alright, so now let's take a look at another. Okay, so this third battle is going to use the Moltres version with the Life Orb Rillaboom and also the Water Urshifu. So this is Kali's Shadow. You know Instant and Moltres are going to come. I don't bring Lunala here. I think I go... I think I did bring the Stack and the Rillaboom here. So the Stack Rilla and then Incineroar Moltres is the bring for me. And I feel like in this type of game, I see the Tailwind, I see the Mienshao, I see the Calyrex Shadow, I even see the Nihilego. I feel safe going Moltres Stack Attacker, honestly, because I mean he has to give me one, right? Because if he brings, let's say he brings Calyrex Mienshao, right? I know my Moltres lives the double up, and then he gives me the Trick Room. And if he decides to go for the Stack instead, then he dies, because he may KO the Stack, but then I just click Fire Rat and the Calyrex is gone. Alright, if he goes like Whimsicott, which I doubt he does or even brings, then the Stack Attacker just freely sets up Trick Room. I don't think he taunts that, and then Moltres would just murder that anyway if he did. Alright. And then Moltres, if he goes Rillaboom, also the Moltres has a flying move, so we're okay here. Alright, and the Moltres can also like KO the Mienshao right back with a flying move of our own. So I feel really safe going Moltres, Stack Attacka, and instead he goes Instant Nihilego. I actually didn't expect this. I did not predict this lead, but he led it anyway. So Stack is intimidated, but that's fine because I'm just going to go for body presses after I set up Trick Room. But I know he's going to fake out my Stack, and I don't want my Moltres to take a Meteor Beam off the bat, but I do live it. I did this calc afterwards. It's actually a pretty okay favorable roll to live it, but I don't want to take so much damage right from the first turn. So instead I switch out into Rillaboom, and knowing that he has this lead, I mean, I felt okay here. I know he's gonna go for Meteor Beam and fake out. I actually didn't think my Rillaboom would die so easily, but it did. So Life Orb Rilla goes down. Okay. But now we go in Instant, and now we can just fake out the Nihilego and get our Trick Room up, which is exactly what I do. He goes for U-turn, that's fine, into his own Rilla, but again, I have Trick Room. But now the thing is, he has fake out pressure, and the Nihilego is poised to destroy my Incineroar, right? So I have a decision to make here, and I opt to go. He actually switches in his own Instant. I go for the Gyro Ball into that slot because I didn't want the Nihilego to KO my Instant. I thought he could have just faked me out and then just did whatever he wanted with the Nihilego and killed the Incineroar, but he didn't do that for some reason. And we're about to find out why. So I do go for the punish onto the Moltres. He goes for a Drain Punch. I guess that's why he didn't fake out, but I feel like he kind of threw the game by not faking out and then just try and kill my Instant, I guess. But it didn't. But it's okay. But now he breaks my Chople Berry, and now he goes back into Nihilego. I go back into Instant to intimidate the Rillaboom again because I don't want to drive to another Drain Punch. I body press the Nihilego, which I felt was safe because even if he didn't switch, it was still safe. So he Drain Punches again. Alright. And we're in a tough spot. He goes Instant. Okay. And I do body press that Instant, so that does a lot of damage. And the Flare Blitz does a lot to the Rillaboom. Alright, yes, he can just Drain Punch me, kill me, and get all that health back. But I feel like the chip that I got in the Instant was really, really good. Because now I can come in with the Moltres and start doing some big damage here. He goes into Calyrex, but I want to show you something before he makes that play. Oh, I reset it. Okay, sorry. Alright, let me go back here. No, it's display. Alright, Instant, Intimidate, Body Press. Alright, second Drain Punch. Okay. And next turn, it's the Instant Swap. Alright, so my Gyro Ball does nothing. I meant my Body Press does quite a bit. And then here's the Flare Blitz. Okay, so here he's kind of low, right? I expect my stack to go down. And it did, right? It did. But that gets my Moltres in. Alright, and I'm okay with this. Okay, so let me get the Moltres in. Alright, so now I'm going to stop right here. So, he has no reason to switch. I mean, he might, because he's intimidated twice, and he might want to get his Fake Out back. And maybe he doesn't want to lose the Rillaboom right away, because I have a Moltres here. I can just click a flying move, and then he loses the Rillaboom. Alright, and so I figured he might try and preserve it. Okay, so I always target this slot, not with a Flare Blitz, but with my Dark move, a Throat Chop, because if he goes Calyrex Shadow, then he dies. I didn't honestly think he would do it, because why would you switch in your Calyrex and just take a Fiery Wrath from the Moltres for free? Like, I'm gonna click Fiery Wrath. There's no way I don't click it, okay, because I don't need to click a flying move here, because the Throat Chop and the Fiery Wrath is gonna kill the Rillaboom anyway. Okay, so I don't need to do that. I might as well just cover for the swap in, right? He has no reason to do it, but he did it. Okay, he could have preserved the instant, but I guess he didn't want to. So he gives me the Calyrex basically for free. Alright, like he Flare Blitzes, gets me into Berserk range. Okay, we go Throat Chop there, he lives it. Alright, and then we Fiery Wrath, and now we kill two things. Alright, now it's back to a 2-on-2, and the instant actually lives. I do want to, I think that actually saves me, because if he gets another swap in, I think I'm in trouble. So this was actually okay. And now I just have to pray I live Nihiligo's Wrath. He already uses Meteor Beam, so he only has Power Gem, and I actually live. Moltres is a monster with the Assault Vest, so we kill the Instant, and then my Flare Blitz just kills his Nihiligo, and now I'm in a really good spot, because the game is now over. The Rillaboom can't do anything. He didn't even Grassy Glide. My Flare Blitz would have just killed him anyway, but amazing. The AV Moltres was huge. Did I play this perfectly? Absolutely not. But did he play it perfectly? No way either. But we got to see how good AV Moltres was, and of course it's the two dark types left standing here. And this is my friend, actually. She was spectating this person. So hi Evelyn, how are you? I'll even link her socials in the description just to give her a little bit of clout. But yeah, I mean the Moltres ended up being really good. So if you like this version, go ahead and try it. Alright, so now I'm just showing the pace one more time. So again, this is the version with Araquanid and Tapu Koko. Koko is just our fairy answer to potential dark types that we would run into. Araquanid's really good in Trick Room and can come into the Kyogre matchup, but again, it's these four that are gonna like drive the team. Alright, so I like this set. This next one right here, this one was the AV Moltres set, right, with the Water Urshifu, and again, the Water Urshifu helps a lot in the Lando Eye matchup, so I think this is actually kind of cool. If you don't like this Moltres and you prefer the Koko, then you can just swap out the Moltres and put the Koko there, I guess. But then you're really weak to Lando Eye that way. But I guess it's fine if you prefer that. And if you want to stay with the same 6, but go with the Protect, Safety Goggles, Stack Attacka, and then Citrus Berry Rillaboom, that's also an option. And remember, we had the Life Orb on the Rillaboom this time because we put the AV on the Moltres. But if you want to switch it, yeah, you can do that too. I mean, that's fine as well. But I feel like in this format, the AV Moltres really shines. And the Life Orb Rillaboom still lives that Behemoth Blade from the Zacian. So let me know what you think would be the best combination here. But again, I'm just giving you guys ideas on how I think Lunala should be played. Again, it's all about these 4. Alright, and then the last 2 is really up to you. If you like Feeny, yeah, Feeny's also pretty good. So yeah, let me know which rental code you would consider. I'm still gonna test these 3 out a little bit more, and then I'll finalize our rental code relatively soon. But in the next video, we're gonna feature another special guest on the channel who has their own Lunala team, who also did very well, so stay tuned for that. And in the meantime, have a good one.